welcome back to ReneMarie Stroke of Luck. It's a pleasure to be here. Our second show, our 10 o'clock show. We're a little late, but that's okay. On Internet TV for Village Connection Network. Thank you, Jim, for the opportunity to do two shows rather than drive in every week and,
From New Jersey.
Yeah. No, it takes... Oh, okay. Yes. So it takes, it takes a lot of energy, to focus and to do these shows. So we're trying to consolidate them so that we could do our other work on the off weeks. And actually, proof of it is the What a Year card that was sent out by our foundation to all of the people. I think, we went back and we got everybody that was on the telethons and a part of our foundation and guests on our show and people that donated to us, and we have a wonderful base now to where we're going.
Yes.
So it's wonderful. This show is about showing the love, and Jim's going to post a question to everybody that we want to hear from you. While we're reviewing last year, we're continuing to review what a year we had. We want to hear who helped you through the love to recover from any challenges or illnesses that you've had. Because in our world, love is the answer. Love is the tool, one of the important tools to recover and to get through anything. And we were just talking about that a few minutes ago with Barbara and Alicia on our first show. So tell us who helped you, who showed you the love. And we'll bring you up on the on Facebook, and Jim will share it with me if my phone dies because I'm running out of power. But so Judy's going to share with us, a little bit about our 2019 because we didn't want to leave anybody out. Where did we leave off last time, Judy?
Well, we were just about to talk about Mark and Brenda Moore.
Yes, very powerful. We really hope to have them back on our show because I believe that, I understood what Mark was saying. And faith really is an important tool in my life. It helped me to get where I am and to really stay strong. Because life is difficult. Life is not a simple journey, and you need to have faith and trust in yourself. And I recommend highly to watch the movie War Room. I don't know if anybody ever watched that movie, but War Room teaches us how to not waste our time going to battle with those that are challenging us in life. It teaches us to go inward, that's why it's called the War Room, to go inward and really battle it out with God and ask God the direction you should go to, and really just to show the love to everybody. And that's really important on this show, is speaking about love. So tell us, review what we spoke about with Mark and
Brenda. Mark Moore is the author of A Stroke of Faith. Together with his wife Brenda Moore, they Skyped into our show to discuss Mark's stroke and how he no longer had control over anything. Though his life will never return to his pre-stroke normal through his crisis, he gained a deeper understanding of God's control in his life and in all our lives. A Stroke of Faith tells the story of moving from acceptance to surrender and from hope to faith. In later years, Mark and Brenda Moore formed the Mark and Brenda Moore Foundation, which you can find online. Next, we had ReneMarie Gibbs, founder and president of Pathways Stroke Foundation, created in honor of her mother, Agnes, who suffered a devastating hemorrhagic stroke with many disabilities, and her main challenge of overcoming apraxia and aphasia. Am I saying that right? ReneMarie discusses the many challenges in her help in helping her mother recover.
I love ReneMarie because she is like us. We don't want to talk about anymore. I want to say this in the correct terminology. We don't want to waste time talking about we want to talk about how we can fix things. Let me put it that way. We want to talk about how we could fix things, how we can move forward, what movement we're going to make. We know that policies and procedures and protocols and everything takes so long to complete. But we want to see headway. We want to make sure that things are going in that direction and that people are really the main purpose and supporting people in recovery. So, we're actually working, and we keep saying this, but, it's very hard to come up with a date, but we're working to come up with a roundtable discussion.
Yes.
A live roundtable discussion. So, and Michelangelo and Carlos Ramos just finalized their ability to stream from off-site. So
Great.
We're very excited, and then I believe that day we'll tap into Jim, and we'll be able to, because you could do it from here, Jim. If we're accessing it, you don't have to bring anything. Am I correct in my thought process? So we'll be able to really capture everybody from an off-site location. So we're very excited about that, because we're trying to branch out, and that's one of the reasons we want to do 2 shows every week, so every other week, so that on that other show we can go off-site and do incredible things, and possibly Jim could hook up with us and stream. And we've had 13 almost 14,000 views on one of our shows. So
that's the next one I was going to talk about. Knowledge is power. We had 13,000, maybe 500 the last time I checked.
Yeah.
And knowledge is power is about who is at risk for a stroke or a brain attack, TIA, aphasia, how it feels not to be able to communicate. Tests like the CAT scan, the MRI, the MRA. Time is of the essence. Recovery and love. As of this release, again, there's been about 13,500.
And that's why I think it's so important for us to continue this conversation, because, I always ask people how it feels, because each person has a different experience.
Yes.
No matter what you're going through, whether it's a heart attack or whether it's cancer or whether it's a stroke or whether it's something that's mentally challenging to you. And I've had my days, where you get frightened by life and you get frightened by what you're going to do, and that's why I love the conversation with Mark, because we spoke about how it felt to have to deal with these challenges. So.
Okay, we had Assemblyman Andrew Rea from District 12, State Assembly of New York, who was a returning guest, along with Christina M. Bolton, Director of Advocacy and Engagement for the Brain Injury Association of New York, discussing ways to increase awareness, as well as campaign for public policy changes to improve and expand public policies regarding brain injuries. Christina is in charge of planning and implementing annual advocacy days, developing, coordinating, and implementing activities in response to legislation and executive action. She is active in the BIANY Ask Concussion and is helping to develop changes to the Concussion Management Awareness Act of 2011.
Yeah, and we're going to miss Andrew Rea working on the commission.
Now he's been elected to Huntington Town Board.
Did they?
Clark. All right,
Clark. He's a Clark. So
I'm moving him up.
Who's taking his place?
I'm guessing they're gonna have the election will decide that, or I don't know if he gave up his position yet, or if he does.
I think that was in December, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. And the reason we're going to miss Andrew, and I know that Andrew, and I've told him this, I'd love for him to be, to move up in the ranks and really to...
He will.
To, one day possibly be president in the United States. Because I love his thought process on how he handles things, and he's really, and I say this all the time, I don't even know what political party he is, and don't tell me because I really don't care. But I love his bipartisan work
Yes.
that he does for health.
Yes.
He's very bipartisan. He listens to all the pieces and really fights for people.
Yes.
So we need people like that in the world.
We had Joel Mirowitz, I hope I'm saying his name right. He served 43 years as a trial attorney, was a city court judge of Glen Cove, presided since appointment from 1995 through 2006, was the deputy attorney Nassau County Office for the Physically Challenged from January 2007 through December of 2010. Joel survived 3 strokes.
Yes. That's
And-
the gentleman that I met at the car show.
Yes.
And it was so worth it to do. And by the way, we want to thank the car show organization for their donation that they made to us. We're very grateful that they
Yes.
helped us. And we'll have an official thank you next week on our show.
Joel's, as I said, survived 3 strokes, and he discussed his early symptoms starting in 1955 when he ignored the first symptoms. As his symptoms became worse, he visited the hospital and had various tests and was admitted for 1 week with the understanding he would take it easy. Upon arrival at home, he decided to attend night court for his client. Another attorney and his wife drove Joel to court. When he tried to exit the car, he fell to the ground. He became incoherent and was unable to move the whole right side of his body or even speak. Joel shared his stroke experiences and the valuable lessons he learned about healing with our audience, and also not ignoring the signs of a stroke.
Yeah.
And when the doctor says, take it easy, the doctor means take it easy.
Yes, yes. And we'd like to invite an invitation to everybody, who was on our show and who wants to be a guest. If you want to be a guest on the show, please reach out to Judy. Give your email, Judy.
It's STYF2050 @AOL.
Or you can reach out to me at ReneMarieLanguageOfLove@gmail.com. And we're really gathering people for our telethon this year and guests for our shows and Jim, you know how many shows we did last year? We did 43 shows because I was doing my taxes.
Oh my God.
43 we did 43 shows.
Nice.
I made 43 trips, or probably 50 trips to Long
Much
Island.
more than that, yes.
But I'm just saying, like, it was 43 shows. Like, that is a gift.
We had Peggy Orsino. She's been senior volunteer management for 25 years. She is an executive director at RSVP, the Retired Senior Volunteer Program, for the past 14 years. Previously, she managed the Senior Services Division of Federation of Organizations for 11 years and sits on the board of directors for Caregiver Resource Center. RSVP provides many services to the community. Tai Chi for arthritis, healthcare information, counseling, assistance, HICAP presentation schedules, telephone reassurance programs where volunteers call seniors in the community and check on how they are and have a conversation with them. Daily phone calls by senior volunteers by seniors living in the community to socialize and monitor their well-being. An emergency backup procedure for each person will save lives. Living Healthy with Better Choices is a 6-week program that they provide and empowers older adults and their caregivers to take charge of their chronic conditions, such as diabetes, arthritis, high blood pressure, heart disease, chronic pain, anxiety. And Peggy discussed many of these topics with us when she was here.
So on the question that Jim put out for us, who helped you during the time of need? Who showed you the love? That's one of our really important questions. Is Monty and the, how do you say that, Jim?
I read that.
Just say Monty.
Yeah, you don't want me to say it?
You can.
Monty.
It's up to you.
Well, I think it came from his heart, right?
Okay. I think it's coming from his stomach or something.
Well, it's on the internet.
Go ahead.
It says Jesus guided us.
Okay. What's the next comment say?
What?
What's the next comment say?
That I didn't say that. The plumber also were helpful. I was looking at the Jesus guided us. That was wrong.
That popped out. That popped
out to me because we always talk about needing to have faith.
Yes.
In the time in the really difficult times.
Yep.
And in my world, I used to have a friend that didn't believe in God or Jesus, but he had inner strength. So if that's the way that you need to strengthen yourself and believe and to move on, then more power to you. We are not one to judge or to tell people how to live their lives. I will, in my world, once I get my full book out and you see
extra innings,
that all the challenges that I've had to deal with, and I don't, and the truth is I don't even. They were challenges, but they weren't any negative in my life because I think it made me who I am, and
I
gave me
think
the
so
strength
too.
to really cope with life.
Yes.
So so God and Jesus were.
We also had Deanna and Eddie Dine while visiting her sister. Deanna was visiting her sister in Connecticut. She was found unconscious on the bathroom floor of her sister's home. She was rushed to the hospital by ambulance. The staff did not diagnose her having a stroke. Precious time was lost, and Deanna did not get the clot-busting medicine that she needed. She was transferred to Westchester Medical Center Trauma Unit. She did get the tests needed, and 10 days later was transferred once again to Long Island, where she started physical and speech therapy. Deanna and Eddie learned fast that their insurance for physical therapy had run out, and her remaining recovery would not be covered. As we discussed and are very passionate about, insurance should not be the deciding factor in recovery. Deanna and Eddie talked about the struggles and obstacles overcome by Deanna on her road to recovery.
That was a wonderful show.
Yes.
I like them a lot. I remember that her husband, what did he do for a living? He was a...
I don't recall. I'd have to look it up.
I don't know whether it was an attorney or whether it was...
No, I don't think he was an attorney.
An accountant. He was something that, but the tools that he learned in his career really helped to support her in her recovery.
And that's why you need an advocate, somebody who will speak for you if you can't speak for yourself.
That's right. And we were just talking that on the prior show.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a resource for that, then just start making phone calls. Go call the state, call your local, congressman or assemblyman, or start reaching out for people to give you direction. Call the American Stroke Association. You can contact us if you want help. Reach out to a school or a church or a synagogue, or no matter who you have to reach out to. Start the conversation and don't let go until you have accomplished it. However, I will tell you that we always say that you need to build that circle around you so that things are prepared when you do come to those challenges in your life. It took me a long time to come up with a spiritual counselor and a regular counselor and an accountant, financial advisor, and and build that team around me.
It's vital.
Yeah, I have my main doctor, Dr. Herman, who's my internist, but I do nothing without going through him to guide me because I trust him. So you got to do it. You got to do it now. So build that team around you.
Marlon Zapana, am I saying his name right? Marlon?
Oh, yes.
From Life's Next Chapter Foundation, helping families to feel safe, healthy, and educated through health education and health promotion. Marlon and his fellow board members were return guests, and they talked about their mental health summit in Jersey City.
Yeah.
University.
Yeah. And Marlon, in the first Life's Next Chapters organization. Sorry, I was just thinking. Marlon and Life's Next Chapters organization is the organization that we're beginning to bring education to the school systems, because we really believe that we need to educate our children on the simple ways to save someone's life, and they, just keep calm and fast, and if they see the signs, all they have to do is get out their cell phones, because most kids have cell phones nowadays,
yes,
and call 911 and get
right.
help for that person. It really is important, and if we start to educate the young, then we'll diminish the amount of strokes that we have, or the results from amount of stroke, because people will get help in the 4.5 hours that they need to get their help in.
We had Dr. Richard Libman, associated with North Shore, Long Island Jewish Health System since 1993. Dr. Libman was a neurology resident at Albert Einstein College of Medicine and completed cerebral vascular postdoctoral fellowship at Columbia University. He currently chairs at the North Shore LIJ System-Wide Stroke Committee and is recognized through the system as an expert on acute stroke management.
Wow.
Virginia Werner was fortunate enough, she's one of our board members, to have Dr. Libman as her doctor, and both discuss the various forms stroke will take, her symptoms, care, and recovery, as well as the doctor's expertise on acute stroke management. In a couple of minutes, I'll mention the board members and how they, I just want to get to the guests, and then we'll go to the board members, and we'll talk more about Virginia.
We only have a few more minutes.
I know. I'll try to go faster.
No, I mean, we could do this we could continue to do it.
Stephen Melinsky, story illustrated that stroke symptoms should never be overlooked or ignored, and most important, never drive while you're in this condition. He describes the day of his stroke, his visit to urgent care where they thought he was just dizzy, his later visit to the emergency room, his MRI and CAT scans, and the fact that they discovered a hole in his heart that demanded immediate surgery. He explains that he did not realize that stroke can occur at any age, even if you think you're in the best of health, and that everyone should be aware of the symptoms and not make the mistakes he did on that day, which could have cost him his life. Tracy Lawrence, author of Dementia Sucks, A Caregiver's Journey with Lessons Learned, discussed the important topic of supporting family caregivers in the workplace. Tracy knows all about this since she was the primary caregiver for both her mother and her dad. Tracy is a business consultant, trainer, and speaker on the following subjects: hidden epidemic. I think I cut this off. Okay. But what are you a caregiver? What is dementia? Has the cure for Alzheimer's disease been found? Advocating for loved ones in need, self-care, family caregiving, and career. Can anyone do both? Resources for everyone. We had...
I would like to invite Kelly, my friend, Kelly Grimm, back onto the show, because it was a last-minute thing that she actually hooked onto the show, because we worked together. We were working together prior, and her mother suffered a stroke. And we started to talk about it, and I said, well, come on to the show to actually hook up with Tracy, because Tracy's very knowledgeable and in supporting you to what you need to do. And Tracy provided a lot of information to Kelly as far as her mother her father was had a veterans accessibility, because her mother's husband used to be a vet. So
and also I just want to mention that her mother suffered a stroke as well as heartbreaking dementia.
Yes, so she was.
That was Kelly Grimm.
Yeah, she was suffering dementia before she had the stroke. But we have to invite Kelly back on, because I wanna see where she's at, so that she can help us to educate ourselves.
Quickly, I wanted to do 3 more if possible. The place between here and there, Steve Weber and his life partner Kathy. Steve discussed his near-fatal motorcycle accident, leaving him gravely ill and for several weeks in a coma on the verge of life and death. The doctors doubtful that he would survive. On the outside, Steve was lying in the hospital bed. On the inside, he was in another place, a place he now calls the place between here and there, and he discussed that. He said that was a place where time didn't exist, where people were spirits, some of those who were alive and some of those that were not. And it was very interesting. He also does workshops on that. We had Venice Mule-Glass, president and owner of Sunshine Physical Therapy, discussing her grandmother's stroke and her dad's many strokes, as well as his previous recovery from carotid endo. I'm going to have to pass on that. I cannot say that word. Initially, her dad had verbal aphasia and complete right-sided weakness. And the procedure that her father had to treat was to treat carotid artery disease. The disease occurs when fatty, waxy deposits build in one of the carotid arteries. This procedure is CEA. It's a surgical procedure performed by vascular surgeons used to reduce the risk of stroke by correcting stenosis in the common carotid artery or the internal carotid artery. And Jim and Lisa Lennox, attorneys, discussed with us the branches of your tree of life. Jim and Lisa discussed trusts, which are a protective shell to hold your assets. To put assets in may not be easy to take assets out. Other facets are you retain control to add or remove assets. You give up asset control and fully protect assets from long-term care expenses, remove life insurance from inclusion for estate taxes, may avoid probate, can aid in long-term care planning, protect assets from descendants from their financial liabilities, keep assets for descendant if children of divorce, and keep in mind that nursing homes look back a period of 5 years for all transfers, trusts, life estates. They also answered questions pertaining to the cost of a simple will. At what age should you have a will? Should you transfer your house to your children? What if you want to keep some of it keep someone out of your will? How to avoid probate, and who do attorneys work with? All ages, individuals, couples, young and the elderly. It is very important to use an attorney for this document, since there are requirements in drafting and execution of a will in order for it to be valid, witnesses, notarization, etc. In addition, ask for a healthcare proxy and a living will, and your end-of-life treatment decisions, and a POA power to sign legal and financial documents. Jim has extensive experience in handling senior trial. He's a senior trial attorney with several major insurance companies, practicing in New York State from Westchester through New York City and Long Island. Lisa has extensive title insurance, which is an added benefit when assisting clients with real property transactions or transfers.
Wow. And that was a quick review.
Very quick.
Two shows.
And I don't know if you want to go over Nancy. We'll discuss that on the next show.
Yes.
Nancy and Ginny and...
Yeah, well, you know what, that's another thing. Invite all our board members to come on the show.
Okay.
And have a discussion.
Well, but meanwhile, we also have to discuss in the past what they've been doing.
Yeah, but we could.
Yes, unless you want to incorporate it into a show.
Fine. They could do it when they come.
Okay, we'll do
that.
that.
Hear it directly from them.
You're going to get a call from me.
Yes. So,
Oh, and I didn't mention Kathy, but she would also be the board.
We're so excited about our foundation, and I keep saying that because I'm so proud of the work that everybody is doing, even those you don't see a lot of or hear a lot of. Jean Parada, she's got a life, but Jean, what did I call her? What did I call Jean? I called Jean the foundation or the reason. I mean, Jean really gave me the strength and really believed in me and really supported me, and really she's the foundation to me being able to move in this direction. And I would not be here unless it was for Jean. So Jean doesn't play an on-air role, but behind the scenes, she's very important to this organization. And I would not be where I am unless it's for Jean. So thank you so much,
Thank you, Jean.
We hope that one day you'll come on.
I love that.
Yeah. But she really is an important piece. And I think what I would like to do with Judy, with Thinking Out Loud, is dedicate each show to someone. So if you have someone that you would like to dedicate the show to, please call us or email us or let us know. We will start to talk about your experience and stuff. It really is important. But let's talk about love. Let's talk about love. Let's talk about how love helped us to get to where we are. And I talk about it all the time. If it wasn't for my family showing me the love and really supporting me through this journey, I would not be sitting here today. So Judy, talk about the love that you and your father, that you showed to your father, that really helped him. And you know what, let's talk about also that it's not easy to show the love. Sometimes you gotta struggle to make it work. Like
That's
you
true.
went every day, you dedicated yourself every day.
Well, my dad had been had been in business many years in Baldwin in an appliance and service business, hardware appliance and service business, and he was always healthy. He was a Rotarian for 47 years, so he was very into community service. I had very loving parents. My mom passed from heart disease. My dad, when he was alone, living alone, I would check on him twice a day, which was probably very annoying to him. I would call at 9 in the morning and 9 at night. Well, one Sunday night at 9 o'clock, he was not answering, and I started panicking, and I called numerous people to try to get in touch with him, and found out that he had passed out and had a stroke. And that's why I couldn't reach him on the phone.
Oh my God. So
So he was rushed to the hospital. Okay. He did not have a healthcare proxy, even though I mentioned it a million times. And I got his attorney from the Rotary Club to assist me in getting him to sign it and understand what it was about. He had a massive stroke. He was paralyzed on the entire left side, but he had good memory. He was able to talk about different things. And I spent every day for 3 years and 3 months, 6 hours a day. I gave up my regular job, took a part-time job, working at seminars, selling, believe it or not, motivational tapes.
Wow.
Which helped me also to keep a positive attitude. And I was there 6 hours a day for 3 years and 3 months and assisted him with everything he needed, because I had wonderful parents, and I know that they would have done that for me.
Yes. And when you're out in the workforce and you're dealing with just different personalities, it really gets challenging. And not even out in the workforce, but just out in
and there were
life
problems.
in general.
There were problems that I would encounter every single day that I had to overcome with a positive attitude.
Right.
Even near the end, where I saw my dad's ankles were all swollen again, and I know that was one of the signs of his original stroke. And he didn't tell me he had a killer headache, which would have been very important when he went to the heart doctor. He never mentioned it.
Yeah,
and,
but he was a father. He didn't want
me to worry.
Yeah.
So anyway, when I saw signs of things going downhill again, I alerted everybody and made sure everything went smoothly. So you have to have a caregiver there, somebody who really loves. I really loved my dad. I really loved my mom. I saw what was happening with my dad, and I saw it wasn't going well, and I made sure that I spoke to the head people there.
Right.
Not just anybody, but the head, so that they knew that something's going wrong and you got to take care of it immediately.
Yeah. And I know, I agree. And but you know what this book was really very powerful for me last year when I read it, 11 Rings, because it really spoke to me about a wonderful coach who had a different philosophy on his coaching style, and it really was about showing love to the individual person and really trying to figure out how you can make each person successful by showing them the love. And some people you'd have to, I'm talking about in general, some people need a lot of affection, some people want to be left alone, some people need time to process, some people need, a constant reassurance. So we really need to learn how to engage and how to really listen to each person as to what they need from you to be successful. It's not about you, it's about that other person. So if you put the love in effect, that person will trust you and they will respect you. And it really is an important thing. So this book really confirmed to me, and really paralleled to how Dom inspired me to keep moving on and really coached me. And let me tell you, with Dom, it wasn't easy. I'm telling you, I'm saying, like, he knew how to push me a little bit and then back off, give me time to think, and then, push me a little bit. But Dom was a leader that, like Phil Jackson. Knew how to listen to each person and really get them to be the best that they could be. Not everybody the same.
That's right.
Some basketball players excel and some are just part of the team. So you just have to know what they're able to give and really love them for what they can do.
And they draw the whole team together and they motivate the team to do their very best.
Yes. And I always keep this book, and I have it on my audio, so I listen to it when I'm on the way here. And another book that I love to read is Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting by Lynn Grabhorn. The first book I ever an inspirational book that I ever picked up. And I went into the store and I just kind of gravitated towards it, and I picked it up, and out of all the books in the bookstore, I picked it up and I started to read it while my girls were at school, and they're at practice and they were going to be late and all that kind of stuff. And it really teaches you it's black and white. It is black and white. It's black and white in how to make things happen in your life and how to love people. So
and that's the most important factor.
Yes. Love is the answer to hate. Love is the answer to recovery. Love is the answer to survival. Love is the answer to bringing hope to people. And our vision. Do you want to read this, Judy? Our long-term vision of the foundation and what we pride ourselves on. We are so proud of this, and we stand true to this.
Yes, we do. Our mission will have Oh, you want me to start there?
Yeah.
Okay. The long-term vision of the Language of Love Foundation and Telethon is to join the world together in stroke and aphasia awareness through kindness and pure love.
Go ahead.
Our mission will have enormous impact and reduce the number of strokes, as well as reduce the number of deaths, disabilities, and bring hope to all.
And we also pride ourselves on being authentic. With spreading love in the way that we encounter all that cross our path. And that's really a challenge, because sometimes people are not in the same world that we are and don't believe, but we have to stay true to ourselves and let things go and just keep moving on. I always said that, when people are coming at me, I kind of just go around them. Let them keep talking, let them keep doing what they want to do and complaining and doing everything that they need to do. But I have too much work to do in my life. My stroke really brought the awareness to me that life is too short. Life is too short to hold on to things, and we have too much love. We have too much joy to bring to the world. And
we shouldn't waste it on ridiculous.
Yes, and that doesn't mean that you don't have a right to feel the way you're feeling and process it, go through it. but don't hold on to it, because it will only hurt you, and it won't help you to heal. It won't help you to heal mentally. It won't help you to heal physically. And the other thing is that things happen in our lives for a reason, even though that's a hard
thing to think about.
But I know that my stroke happened because I was too thick-headed.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
I can't picture that.
I was too I was channel visioned. When I was going to do something, I would only focus on doing that, and people are around me talking to me and doing things, and I wasn't listening to the people around me. So it didn't mean that I was doing it on purpose, but I was just so channeled into doing that. That's why I was so good at softball, because let's go, and I'd stand on third base, and
you get there 2 hours earlier than everybody else.
Yes. So so please spread the love today. Spread the love today. Be love to one another. Be kind to one another, as Ellen always mentions. I don't want to steal her phrase, but be kind to one another really, really is important. And we're so excited about 2020 because we're lifting the bar. We're lifting our telethon. We hope that people will take the opportunity to help us, partner with us, sponsor this show, sponsor our foundation. We are doing such phenomenal work, so we hope that you'll join with us and partner with us.
Yes, and I want to just end with one statement from Vince Lombardi, who was a
Notre Dame.
He was a coach, football coach.
Was it Notre Dame, right, Jim?
He was the coach of the Green Bay Packers, and a team he led to 5 championships. And his words, in every positive way, really ring a bell, but this is the one I want to leave you all with. We would accomplish many more things if we did not think of them as impossible.
Yeah.
You want me to do others? The difference between a successful person and others is not the lack of strength, not a lack of knowledge, but rather a lack of will.
And a lack of and a fear that you're not going to be successful.
Right.
So we're going to end, but I'm going to sing one of our favorite songs. I believe in music, because music, as Judy said before, is so powerful and really gets you into that other mindset. And when something is happening in your life and you have no place to go, turn on the music and get lost in that, because it will help you to recover. It'll help you to heal. And what Dom always said to me, there's really no reason to handle it right now. There's really no reason. If you don't feel comfortable in handling it, don't handle it right now. Give yourself the time. And if somebody's asking you, just tell them that you don't have an answer right now. That you have to give them. They have to give you the time. You'll get back to them. And that was an important tool.
Very important words of wisdom.
Wisdom that he taught me. So let's sing. I can just sit around making music all day long. As long as I'm making my music, I can't do nobody wrong. And who knows, maybe someday I'll come up with a song that makes people want to stop the fussing and fighting just long enough to sing along. Let's go. I believe in music, and I believe in love. Music is love, and love is music, if you know what I mean. And people who believe in music are the happiest people I've ever seen. So clap your hand, stomp your feet, and shake your tambourine. Lift your voices to the sky. God loves it when you sing. Let's go. I believe in music, and I believe in love. I believe in music. Lord
knows that I believe in love.
Music is a universal language, and love is the key to find brotherhood, peace, and understanding, and living in harmony. So take your brother by the hand and sing along with me. Find out what it really means to be young and rich and free. I believe in music, and I believe in love. One more time. I
believe in music. Lord knows that I believe in love.
Bye, everybody. See you next week.
God
We'll be
bless
here
you.
next week. Bye.
Mi amor, yo no entiendo por qué tú ni más de nadie sabe qué pasó en toda mi vida. Yo no sé qué tú piensas, yo no sé lo que haré, yo no sé lo que estoy perdiendo, yo no sé.
This broken soul. I'm always a giver, but I'm never known. And I'm just this lonely man, alone on the river with my heart in my hand. The conversation they're all dead, the lines held up inside my head. I left here like a broken man, with no idea of where I stand. Oh.